Hello and welcome to our second call for supporting leaders who are planning a Stonecroft Detox or Find Your Balance event to bring to their community. I am Emma Reynolds and I am the Southeastern Divisional Field Director out of Florida, and I was here for the first call with my partner Nancy, who has also been helping.
Hi, Emma. I'm glad to be here today. I'm Nancy Sprouse. I'm the outreach coordinator or outreach specialist at Stonecroft, and we're here to support you. And we also brought two of our trainers today, Anne and Jessica, and they'll be introducing themselves next.
Hi, everyone. I'm Ann Schneider, and I am the Divisional Field Director in the Northeast region, and I'm excited to be with you all today. And one of the things that I do for the Detox event is help train the effective breakout session leaders. I've been doing this since we started Detox, and it's really been fun for me to help those that are leading those sessions.
Hi, everybody. Glad you are listening in today. My name is Jessica Fick, and I'm the Evangelism Resources Director for Stonecroft. And I am so excited to help you share your story through Detox, your healthy, balanced living story, and to share the story of God's love, the gospel, and how women can begin to follow Jesus. So we are so excited to support you in this detox journey and are really excited for you to jump in with all the good stuff we have today.
Okay, thank you. We're actually going to just do a quick recap for you from the first call. If you remember, we talked about Detox, why we developed Detox in the first place. We also talked about planning an event and planning a gathering and the difference between the two, how you can have a large Detox event or you can plan a small gathering with a small group of people, maybe in your home. And then we took you into first steps. Gathering a team, where, when, and how, and choosing the breakout topics. So today we're going to focus on arranging for Expo and gathering the breakout leaders and the follow-up. So when you arrange for the Expo, what you want to do is find vendors that can help explain the body, mind, and spirit aspect of the event itself. Vendors like essential oils. Some people have even done traveling groups. But you'll find out that the vendors will actually add benefit to your event. They will not only add variety and great takeaway value for your attendees, but they're also a great source of promotion. A lot of times the vendors will promote you at their stores or through their businesses and in their newsletters or on their Facebook pages. And they also help you cover your costs, which is an important piece. So they will pay registration fees and be glad to do that. So you'll want to look at a resource that we have called See the Expo Team, and it'll explain all the responsibilities that go along with that. And you'll also want to be aware of the great promotional materials we have. We have these great posters, Facebook posting and pages and profiles, invitations, and you'll be able to download them from the resource directory in the digital guide that you should all have and will be receiving shortly. So you'll want to look for those. The link is in there, and you can also order your posters from Vistaprint, and the link for Vistaprint is also in there. But this really helps make the event be a professional event to the public.
So the expo is actually also really fun, like something that I didn't anticipate when I was helping some of our leaders and supporting them as they planned this kind of an event. Is the expo is so fun. Like the women get to sort of mingle and get to know the vendors, and it's a great piece of this event. If you remember, we also on the last call talked about another really sort of exciting and dynamic opportunity at a detox event. And those are the 3 breakout sessions that we talked about. So we talked about having 3 different sessions, catering to either the mind, the body, or the spirit. And we gave you some examples of what those topics might include. So if you're not sure, you can't remember, you can always look back in the resources to see that, or you can watch the first call. If you're confused and can't remember what we talked about, that might be a good idea too. But once you have selected the breakout sessions that you would like to have featured at your event, you have to gather up the instructors. And so you want to think through and use your team and their circles of influence as well, and invite women who have some sort of an expertise in the chosen topic, and invite them to come and participate as instructors. A lot of breakout instructors are excited for an opportunity like this. They're usually, I mean, if they have an expertise in it, they're usually pretty passionate about what it is that they're speaking on. And we find, you know, that this is kind of also a good way to bring in new volunteers on the planning team, because a lot of them like to be involved and think this is really neat. And so that's one opportunity that you can do. And we would encourage you at this point to select those instructors, like the session leaders, and then finalize that as soon as you can, because we also have access to some coaching through Stonecroft. And so we would encourage you, once you've selected the instructors, to plug in with Anne. And you heard Anne Schneider introduce herself in the beginning of the call. She is another field director like myself, and we have found that Anne is just an invaluable addition to this process when she works with volunteers. And you can see on the slide, one of my volunteers wrote in a really nice quote talking about how meaningful it was for her, how helpful it was to talk with Anne and get the support that she needed as she was planning her session. So I'm going to go ahead and hand it off to Anne for just a couple minutes, and she'll explain a little bit more what all that kind of coaching would entail.
Oh, thanks, Emma. Yeah, so I know that you're excited and you have your breakout sessions in mind if you're leading one of them. And I know that you have expertise and knowledge about your topic, and I'm sure you want to deliver the best presentation to touch the hearts of minds and women and in their interest in healthy living. And so on the coaching call, I want to help you to prepare for your effective breakout session. There's 4 keys to that preparation. And then also how to establish and build trust with your audience. Also, we'll talk about the secret to creating a memorable breakout session. And then lastly, we want to encourage you to connect with your audience in a way that they'll want to be in a supportive community afterwards. And it's really exciting to be a part of this, and I'm really happy to get with you and do some coaching. You can reach me at my email address that's posted here, aschneider@stonecroft.org, and I'll also be reaching out to you.
Thank you so much, Anne. So we've talked about the Expo and the value that that adds to the event. And we've talked about breakout sessions and how to plug the session leaders in with some coaching. So the next part that we wanted to discuss is a healthy living story. Because towards the end of your program, if you've not done one of these before, we encourage you to have a healthy living story or testimony. And so you'll see that is actually me a few years ago doing my healthy living story. But you'll see these stories sort of vary in terms of the topics sometimes. So we're looking for someone who's experienced some sort of change or transformation in her overall mind, body, spirit, the balance of these things. But you know, every woman's story is powerful and different. And so, for example, like mine was about a transformation through weight loss. That was one example. But we've had other healthy living stories coming from speakers who possibly have been through a bad relationship and who have sort of found their balance in overcoming it, or healing from that. We have had women who are recovering from addiction speak on how they found their healthy balance. You know, and ultimately, you know, this would be because she's sharing her faith. You know, your faith is a big part of it. So like for my healthy living story, I talked about how I had tried my whole life to lose weight and nothing seemed to work. And I figured it out the hard way after multiple trials, that you have to heal from the inside out. And I used it as an opportunity to talk about my heart and to talk about the healing that needed to take place that could only happen through, you know, through faith in God, you know, and what that sort of did and how it manifested into my overall health improving. So, but I mean, all of these stories would point to the woman's faith. You know, we would like to get to have this story, you know, connect with the listeners in ways that could be personal to them. So, but you want the speaker to be Christian because she has to have a faith story of some kind. You would like for her to at least appear well balanced. None of us really are, but you know, that's helpful. And you definitely want someone who's either comfortable speaking, who has spoken before, or who's really interested in being coached into that kind of an experience, because we actually have a fantastic coach. And I'm going to introduce Jessica in just a minute, because we have a really great coach who can help them sort of take their story and make it as effective as possible, as smooth a testimony as possible. And I had the privilege of seeing the fruits of that kind of coaching in a recent Find Your Balance event, because Jessica worked with my speaker. And you'll see there's another quote from, that one's from the speaker, the Healthy Living Story speaker, because she had a fantastic, powerful story, but she didn't know how to tell it. And so I sent her to Jessica. So go ahead, Jessica.
Yeah, thanks, Emma. And we really are passionate about helping you to tell your story, because through your story, the gospel is expressed, and we all experience places of brokenness and God moving in our lives through redemption. The hard part of that is trying to figure out, where do I start? Where do I start, and what are the essentials to communicate? And so we really want to help you do that. And actually, I provide the coaching for you to kind of walk through the different elements of your story, and what does it look like, body, mind, spirit, to have Jesus heal you from the inside out, as Emma mentioned. And so we want the stories to be just real life examples of the power of Jesus in everyday life as we make different choices. And so, and that story, really, the goal is to lead into the gospel and have it shared in a way that connects body, mind, and spirit, makes sense to the women who are there, and is really accessible for them to say, wow, if this happened for Emma, or if this happened for Cynthia or someone else, this could be true in my own life. And so that's how we want women to walk out of a detox, to say, you know what, I was broken, I wasn't sure where to start, but this event has given me hope, not just from a great story from a woman, but from her actually sharing the ways I could begin a relationship with Jesus. And so we know that can be a little scary and overwhelming. And so we want to walk with you every single step of the way to just help you share your story with confidence, and in a way that helps women just feel so loved and drawn towards Jesus and the healing and hope that he offers each of us. And really, this is something we hope will serve you through the rest of your life, not just for detox, but anytime you share your story with someone, that you can walk with them and walk next to them and saying, hey, I was once there too, but here's some ways I found some hope.
Thanks, Jessica. And so, Jessica, how the team leader will want to connect you with that lady that's sharing that story,
Yep.
right? So you'll probably be emailing the team leader, or they can take your email here, jfick@stonecroft.org, and say, hey,
That's right.
I'm my healthy living story person. You know, I'd like you two to get connected so that you can do
Yep.
the training. So The team leader really
Exactly.
just needs to be the connector for you two to get together.
Yep, and all that looks like is connecting via email and then setting up a couple times just to go through your story and for me to help you kind of wade through the different elements and then help you walk through kind of how you're going to present it. So it's really just kind of 2 phone calls and you doing some self-reflection. It's not a lot of time, but it's the kind of thing that can really help you move forward in significant areas.
Yeah, and I just want to say too, looking at the different events we've had around the country, we can really tell when the event has had the lady sharing that story has had their training with Jessica. It shows in just the effectiveness that comes from the event. And if we're going to take the time to put on a detox event, it's great to have the women trained to share effectively so that the spirit can woo those women to come to know him. We share the gospel at a detox event in this setting, but one of the other huge pieces of a detox event or a gathering is the follow-up afterwards. Anne mentioned it as a supportive community that the breakout instructors will be inviting women into. So at the end of the detox, if you've read the MC notes at all yet, putting the program together, we really focus a lot on encouraging women to join small groups. We encourage you to call them community groups at your event, because small groups, community groups we feel is a little bit more inviting to women. So we set up small groups, and we want you to think about that before the event. They're much more effective if the small groups are set up and already set to go. So we want to plan for this to the small group follow-up. And so we really want those ready to go before the event, and have your small group facilitation, the women that are facilitating those small groups set to go with at least a location that they'll be meeting at, so that women feel that it's an open place that they can come to. Probably not a home, but maybe a coffee shop, a place that would be open to the public. But these are the follow-up recommendations that we have. We have this whole series called Conversations that is really set for the woman who is seeking. They're actually written by Jessica, who's on the line with us today. So we're really excited about them, and they are great follow-up from the body, mind, and spirit, thinking about detoxing and finding rest, being known by God. It talks about body image and things that would a great follow-up for a body breakout session, and then enough, that we are enough. So many of us feel like we're not enough. So it explores how God wants us to be present with us and help us embrace who we are and how He made us. And we also recommend Boundaries by Cloud and Townsend, because it follows well with the prepackaged mind session that we have that the breakout instructors can use. And we also encourage other activities, not always books. Some women aren't going to be excited about joining a supportive group where they're going to be studying a book. Some will be. Others will want to join a walking group or a cooking group, an exercise group, or whatever fits well with your breakout topics. Follow it up with something else, because they're going to start that relationship in a breakout session, and then you're going to be inviting them into these follow-up small groups for them to develop their relationship further, and hopefully at some point, because of those relationships and learning more about Jesus, they're going to come to know Him through those small groups. And also with the small groups, we do small group facilitation training, because not all women feel like they're ready to go and lead a facilitation, a small group. So Jessica is also the trainer for that. So Jessica, I'm going to let you share a little bit about the small group facilitation training that we do.
Sure. Again, this is something to serve you and help you to take those relationships that have started at Detox and continue to foster those and deepen those. There is just such cool stuff that happens at Detox. We want to help continue the good things that God has started at the event. And we all know that sometimes we go to an inspirational event and it's really cool and we're excited, and then the next week it's like, oh dang, the Cheetos are calling me. I'm gonna eat those Cheetos, or I'm gonna, do the thing I have been trying to avoid to do. So really the small groups are places for us to cheer each other on and to say, hey, we're with you in that. We're for you. Let's do this together. You're not alone. And so whether you do one of the conversation guides about what it looks like to actually be enough, or to meet up with women to walk, or to decide to do a cooking club, or whatever it is, we have ways to help you foster those relationships and take the conversations deeper. And if you just go to the Stonecroft website and click on evangelism resources, that is where you'll find a video of me sharing how to facilitate a small group and just walking through how to make it a safe place for women to share, how to grow those connections, and how to introduce the Bible to women in ways that just really seem natural, at wherever you're at in your stage of your relationship. So we're excited to have you jump into those and to keep the good things that God has started at Detox on into the next weeks and months, to see that life change happen that we all really hope happens in our lives and in the lives of women who show up for Detox.
Okay, so we've covered quite a bit of material in this call, a lot of training. So the big thing to remember is that the training and the coaching is just going to help your event take it to the next level. So we just encourage you to reach out to Anne and Jessica. They'll be contacting you too, and to make sure that you can get linked up with the breakout instructors for their training with the Healthy Living Story and the small group facilitation. So we'll be sending you an email with the digital guide with all the resources linked up, and Jessica and Anne will also be connecting with you and contacting you to make sure that you have access to this training that we offer.
Yeah, it's really important for you to know that we're here for you. That, I mean, I'm sure you can tell, and we've walked through like multiple steps and lots of different pieces of information here. So sometimes that can seem to elicit more questions than you originally had. And so what we want to do for you is continue to support you. And we're hoping to do that by having a live call. So we're inviting you to come back, especially if you have some more questions, or if, we know that everybody's in a different place in planning their detox. But surely, it would benefit you to hear the questions of others and to bring your questions as well. So we're hoping that you'll join us all on the live next steps call, where we'll have some discussion and time for questions and answers. Things that you have in your brain right now can be answered then. So we're going to be meeting Monday, January 22nd. 8 o'clock Eastern time, that's 7 o'clock Central. And there is a GoToMeeting link in this presentation. And I'm sure it'll also be embedded in the follow-up email as well. So we're really hoping that you'll take advantage of that. But we're so excited that you joined us for this journey, and that you were interested in planning this event. We've seen a lot of success and a lot of lives transformed through the planning of a detox in your community, and there's nothing like it. There's nothing like seeing the lives transformed at an event, and you can't believe that all these pieces add up to something so beautiful. So I'm so thankful for all of you listening in, and for my sisters in ministry who helped with the call today. And we hope we will talk to you really soon. Take care.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Bye.